And I think there's an attitude towards white collar work and blue collar work in America that, you know, smacks of that old Marxist idea that I think has saturated us all, that, you know, if you can't really reduce what somebody is doing to some concrete material thing that's being made, then they're not really working. You know, the number of people who think CEOs do nothing, you know, or that executives, or that allocating capital and organizing a company and making all the various pieces run is really no work at all. These are the same people that think a musician who's sitting with his instrument 8 hours a day is really producing nothing and doing nothing. They don't understand that abstract work is hard too.
So let's start with Rucka. What is your favorite scene from the book?
All right. So when Reardon is on trial and he responds to the allegations by saying, like, I will not, like, obviously paraphrasing very liberally here, but like, I will not comply with a society of cannibals, or I don't believe I'm living in a society of cannibals, something like that, using the imagery of cannibalism. To me, it was just such a moment of clarity, like things just clicked suddenly. Like, yes, like when people talk about the welfare state, when people talk about, you know, that it's your duty to sacrifice yourself to others, when people talk about how communism is benevolent, right, and capitalism is treacherous, but just this imagery of cannibals to me is just so powerful. It just kind of essentializes what it is that these people are actually advocating for when they let altruism lead the way. So yes, cannibalism is a powerful metaphor. And when Reardon used it in his trial, it was a life-changing moment for me. So there's item number one for me. Definitely.
And so now I have to go with my third scene. The third scene is our first introduction face-to-face with Ragnar the pirate. So the context is that Philadelphia is probably based what many American cities are today, which is a very dangerous place. Hank Renner has left his house. He walks, he has a pistol in his pocket, and as he walks in an empty streets outside on the outskirts of town, he sees from far away a guy getting out from the darkness and standing in front of him. And instinctively, he goes for his gun. But then he said, this guy is probably not a thief because of the way he carries himself. So again, what a first introduction. And of course, this person who comes out of the shadows is Ragnar, someone who lives, quote, in the shadows, who is a pirate. And here, in order to do an act of virtue, an act of justice, to give Hank what is owed to him, he has to do it on the dark. After that is when he gives him the story of how his biggest enemy is Robin Hood. Not Robin Hood as he might have been in real life, which is taking money from the tax collector and giving it to those who were looted, but taking from, quote, the rich to give, quote, to the poor. And Ragnar says, this is the enemy, this is the idea that I want to wipe off from the world. And then also we have the brilliant scene when the police officers arrive asking Hank, hey, we're looking for a pirate. Have you seen him? And he says, no, this guy is my bodyguard. And then Ragnar says, you were right, Mr. Redden. I am your bodyguard. Here still we meet again.
Ayn Rand, I believe in a letter to Isabel Patterson, described Hayek as pure poison. And he is pure poison. He's the best ally the collectivists, whether communists or fascists, could have. Hayek is a determinist. He believes that all human action is made necessary by antecedent factors beyond the actor's control. So there's no actual choice. You are determined by your place in society. The reason is out the window.
Well, the actual effect is, first of all, it teaches them to think in the wrong way. It teaches them that the way we understand the world is not through our individual mind, but it's through the chromosomes or the color of our skin. So it already sets them for failure. But also, it denies to them the best that the world has to offer. Literature is not just something which is sterile and dry. Literature should inspire. Literature should tell you this is what human experience can be. This is what, think about Shakespeare, think about Romeo and Juliet, the richness of emotions, the power of love, the tragedy of unrequited love. Why should students be denied these things in the name of this ideology which tells them you are not clever enough to understand Shakespeare and we're going to give you something inferior because we don't consider you that you will be able to understand Shakespeare? So we're setting up students for failure and we're denying them the immense pleasure of great literature, which can come from men, from women, from people from all over the world. But again, the point is we should be able to judge. Is this a good piece of art? Is this a good piece of work? Not who wrote it and what is their identity or their chromosome or their DNA.